We know that, you know? So it says here, but this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey. What people fit that description? If I ask you, what people fit that description? What people are in the prison houses, are always getting gunned down in the ghettos, have an evil eye? I'm gonna get that for you in the curses, but have an evil eye towards each other. What people?
Us, Negroes, man.
Right, it don't fit nobody.
It's mostly what's
but
the
it will
percentage?
fit.
We like 50-40% of the fucking whole prison system, right?
Yeah. Well, now I want to say percentage of 40 or 50, but I'm gonna say it's a large percentage, which is a higher percentage than any race on earth.
Yeah.
Okay. So it says here, they are hid in prison houses. They are for his prey, and none delivered, because this is our captivity. Ain't nobody gonna deliver us out of here but Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai. That's the real Hebrew name. Okay, and Yahweh Shai just means he delivers, and Yahweh means he exists. The Heavenly Father's name, he exists. Okay, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth for a spoil, and none saith restore. All right, not because this is our curse. This is a curse that the Lord said, look, you want to break the law, statutes, commandments, this is what I'm going to put you through. Like a father chastises his son. If he does something wrong, what is it? He corrects his son by putting him through punishment. And a part of that punishment that we went through, all right, is cargo slave ships. And that's a fact. Now you got Edomite or so-called white people to try to disprove that this is talking about slave ships. Why they always got to constantly have to try to disprove something? If we're wrong, if we don't know what we're talking about, why they always got to try to prove us wrong? Oh, you guys are crazy. You guys don't know what you're talking about. Okay, verse 68. This Deuteronomy 28 and 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt. Egypt just means like represents a house of bondage. Back then in Egypt, okay, we were slaves underneath the pharaohs. All right? But
after Joseph.
Right. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. Again with ships. The first time we ain't need no ships. Right. Did we use ships back then in the ancient? No. I'm talking about as far as like going into Egypt again. So he's talking about what is going to symbolize.
They're already at that point.
Right? It's going to symbolize where we're going to be dwelling at the times, okay, or on earth now, or how. But let me read on, continue here, so I can expound more on it. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, okay, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Now, cargo slave ships, that's what was used to bring the so-called Negroes, okay, West Indians, okay, the so-called Haitians or whatever, over here to the Americas. That's what was used. That's a known fact. Everybody knows that. All right, that's how the so-called Negroes got to the this particular landmass, or what you call America. Everybody knows that. All right, so no other race on earth has ever went on cargo slave ships like the so-called Negroes. What I know, there's no documentation saying that the Israelis went on. They because they never did. They own everything. Oh, the Israelis went on cargo slave ships. And look,
the Holocaust wasn't even about that.
Right. So thou shalt see it no more again, meaning our homeland. We were living in Jerusalem. All right, it's far-fetched. Now you be like, Jerusalem. But wait a moment, aren't those fake Jews living there? You wouldn't think that you were there at one particular point in history. But we are those people that come from that land. Right. All right, and that's a curse that the Lord said.
Their skin wouldn't be so white if they was from there, really.
They're not. Even I watched the video a few weeks ago. You had this Persian, this East Indian, right? Because they go back to the Persian, but that's another story. But the East Indian, he even said that the people living in that region at one particular time were all dark-skinned before this damn devil came in there. All right, before this damn devil was there, like meaning the so-called Middle East, which is just a direction. All right, all it is a direction, the Middle East. But all right, so it says here, thou shalt see it no more again, our homeland, and there he shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. That word buy means redeem, that nobody's going to buy you for bondmen and bondwomen. Now auction blocks down south, or 125, sold. These devils actually think they're going to escape or judgment. But the Lord requires that which is bad. He don't forget nothing. All right, like in society, if you got a warrant, you got a warrant for your arrest, aren't they going to come for you?
Right,
it could have been 10 years ago, but they still going to come for you. All right, these devils actually think that, okay, we did this to them. This is not going to, somehow it's overlooked.
But I feel like, it's up to us to fucking understand, you feel me, this knowledge that you're breaking down. In order for that to happen?
Well, the Lord said only a select few is going to get it, those that he chose to get it. Because contrary to popular belief in this world, like the so-called Christian church, they teach that everybody can be saved. The Bible never taught that. It's talking about the Israelites, and it also tells you that a lot of Israelites are going to be put to death on this side for taking hands with this devil, meaning like agreeing with his mark of the beast. You ever heard of the mark of the beast?
Yeah.
The RFID microchip. All right, this devil. I know you heard about this devil, Bill Gates.
Yup.
You know he funds the Pentagon.
Pentagon.
The
I didn't
Pentagon.
know that.
DARPA,
I know he funding the fucking vaccines niggas is talking about right now.
Yeah, the Department of Defense new something. Well, I got to go back and look that up. But yeah, this devil right here funds a lot of the
DNA,
pharmaceutical.
that's crazy.
Right, you know why they want to change your DNA? Because the scriptures say too in Psalms 83, they're trying to cut us off from being a people. They don't want to believe that we come back from our forefathers. Meaning, if you don't have no genealogy, how can you be guilty of something? Meaning they're trying to cut off the bloodline. Everybody comes from, because the scriptures say in Numbers 1:18, I'll grab it for you. And I'll go back more into the curses. That you come from your father's lineage. Whatever your father is, that's who you are. Numbers 1:18. Okay? And they assemble all the congregation of Israelites, okay, together on the first day, I'll just prove my point, of the second month. And they declare their pedigrees, meaning their lineage or stock, after their families by the house of their fathers. Okay? By the house of their fathers. So you are what your father is. But the reason why we can prove we're Israelites too, because the characteristics. Let me ask you something. Is an African like a so-called Negro? Let me ask you that.
It's similar, but it's not the exact same.
For example, Manu Bol. Manu Bol ain't no Michael Jordan, right? Manu Bol ain't no Michael Jordan. You can't compare a Manu Bol to a Michael Jordan. Now, when I say African, don't get it messed up. You have people on the west coast of Africa like Ghana, Nigeria, Cameroon, Angola, because I got family from Angola too, okay, that are Israelites during the time of when the Romans, I know I'm going into 2 months, but during the time of the Romans, you had Vespasian, Titus, and Domitian. That was three main Roman generals at that, or Caesar at that time, and they ransacked Jerusalem, the second temple. During that time, during 70 AD, we fled into the interiors in the west coast of Africa. You know that, but we already there in certain parts. But we mainly fled there. When these devils came against us in Jerusalem or in Israel, we fled into those parts. All right, we started. You had, you ever heard of Fort Judah? Like Fort Judah, you had like Israelite communities in West
Africa.
Yeah, yeah. You had like the Bantu speaking people that actually went into Mozambique too. My grandmother was in North Mozambique. I was born in Mozambique. So you wouldn't even know that if I told you. I was born in the southern part of Africa. I was born in Mozambique. All right, but it's dealing with your lineage of your father. So you could be born anywhere in the world, but an apple's still gonna be an apple. A pear's gonna be a pear. You understand? You understand what I'm saying? So the lineage comes from the man. All right, the lineage comes from the man. It doesn't come from the woman. The woman shouldn't be like, oh, how they say, well, I gave you birth. You came in my mother. No. The man put the seed. The man put the seed in, you know? So
they held it down, but the man put it there to be held.
Right, so the man is the one that put the seed in a woman. So you are who your fathers is. Now let me give you this. You know who Frederick Douglass is?
No.
Do you know what his forefathers are?
No.
What do you think his forefathers are?
Black African, it was no.
His forefathers go back to slave owners.
Oh,
See, you didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
See, you didn't know that. Look at Mayor de Blasio.
Oh shit.
Yes.
Haha.
It goes back to slavery. See, you wouldn't know that. They go back to slave owners. Mayor de Blasio. Check this out. His son got an afro, right? Right? Why? Because he's popped a dark-skinned woman. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all he did. He popped a dark-skinned woman. But that's a damn devil.
Yeah.
That's
And show us that for that reason to fucking, you know what I'm saying? To fucking trick us.
What I'm trying to get out of this too is that looks can be very deceiving. Blake Griffin, you know who Blake Griffin, the basketball player. I don't really watch basketball, but I know who he is.
Yeah.
I ain't going for it. I used to watch when I was a while back. I ain't going, you know what I mean? I'm gonna be honest. But Blake Griffin, his father is what you call a Haitian, right? Dark skin. But Blake Griffin slept with a light-skinned woman. You know how his son looks? Blonde hair and blue eyes. So looks could be very deceiving. Now, if that son grows up and pops or sleeps with another light-skinned woman, he's already looking light. All right, how he's gonna look? He's gonna look like a cracker. I'm just telling the truth. That's a fact. So looks could be very deceiving. You got people that look dark, but go back to crackers. You got people that look light-skinned and go back to. But you know what too about this too? The characteristics always gonna show, so you can't really trick nobody because God already knows.
Some hear, some know, some going.
Like my father, if I was to show you a picture of my father, which I don't have, I got it on my phone, which I don't have it over here on this particular tablet or whatever. But he's dark. He's dark. He got different hair. My mother's light skin. All right, he's shorter than me or whatever. Different nose. All right, but his grandfathers were living in Canton, China, southern part of China. See, these devils won't tell you the so-called black man built the wall of China. They won't tell you that because the way they do things is orchestrated by witchcraft. It's orchestrated by a philosophy that they'll try to indoctrinate your mind with, look, let's make them believe that this ain't true. Then you look on Google, certain information, and you get carried away like, oh, okay, I believe that it was Chinese. Nah. There were slaves living in the southern part of China too, and Japan too. All right, and history don't lie. All that stuff happened to us, man. We were scattered throughout the four corners of earth. That's a curse. That's part of the curse. But I just want to jump back into this curse, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
It's Deuteronomy 28. Let me just wherever I can. It's actually the whole chapter, but let's start at verse. Let's start at verse 48. Matter of fact, let me start at verse 15. Deuteronomy 28 and 15. But it shall come to pass if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. And that's why we're living in these ghettos, in these barrios. I got family in Rio de Janeiro, in the favelas of Brazil. All right, that's why we're living in these ghettos. That's why we always, oh boy, where our next meal gonna come from? Boy, he stepped on my shoe, now I gotta go fight him. You know what I'm saying? That's just just simple stuff like that. It's so easy to tell, you know? Being in ghettos always, but what's that saying is, last hired, first fired. Oh, I don't like him because he's dark skin. I don't want him to work with me because he, you know what I mean? That's how it goes. You know what I'm saying? That's how these devils, yeah, you already know. So, and it says here, verse 16, cursed thou be in the city and cursed thou be in the field. Right, city, wherever we dwell at, and the field represents the world, wherever we dwell at. All right, in verse 48, I'm gonna just jump from here. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, all right, in hunger. So the Lord is saying that he's the one that brought this great evil upon his own people for not serving, all right, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck. Now, when you type in yoke of iron on Google, it'll show you dark-skinned men, so-called Negro slaves with a yoke of iron. That never happened to those fake Jews. 1948? It doesn't make no sense. First of all, it says when the Israelites come back in the land, I know I'm jumping all over the place, but it says when the Israelites go back to the land, there will be peace. There ain't gonna be no more wars. How many wars? How many wars? And shit, yeah. Exactly. Mm-hmm. How many wars do they fight constantly? Like I believe they bombed Israel bombed some place somewhere last week or whatever this week, but it's always constant wars. You got something called Pink City, Tel Aviv. You got homosexuals, all right, in a place called Pink City, Tel Aviv. That's against the law. If they're God's people, why are there faggots? I don't want them to flag my video, but why are they take the video down? But why are there homosexuals in? Come on,
although I did hear from some place that it wasn't actually homosexuality that was the sin. It was pedophilia that was the sin.
And that too. No. It's homosexuality because when you go into the laws, man and man is not supposed to be with men. And also too, bestiality, sleeping with animals. Yeah. What race? Come on, be real. What race on earth sleeps with animals and they enjoy it?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But the point is to serve the Heavenly Father and do as He obeys us, not to be no homosexual, not to be no pedophile, not to be not to commit bestiality, okay? But let me go more into these curses. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he hath destroyed thee. Now, when the Negroes, so-called Negroes, all right, went, or the Southern Kingdom, or the so-called Negroes, or West Indians, or Haitians, or whatever, went on cargo slave ships. They had a yoke of iron put on their neck, and they had a tag too, so pretty much identify them, the numbers that had a tag. All right, but this devil is going to try with this mark. This right here is written in Revelation 13. I could grab that after for if you want, but it's dealing with a physical mark that this devil wants to put an RFID microchip that you cannot buy or sell without a microchip. And he's got even crafted. Now, if you don't want to take a vaccine, okay, it's not forced at first, but later on it will be. But if you don't want to take a vaccine,
they passed the law to do that.
Right, exactly. But if you don't want to take a vaccine, they're gonna have to put you in jail or in prison, or you can't eat, you can't buy certain things. That's how this devil does. All right, he's trying to pressure you or try to fear monger. Ooh, like try to put fear in you. But somebody like when we come out here, we don't try to show as we don't fear nothing. We don't really fear. We don't really care what these devils plan, because we already know through prophecy. We know that. Matter of fact, they got to come down with great wrath. All right, like it says in Revelation 12:12. But let me just finish this. I know, like I said, I'm going into too much, but anyway, a yoke of iron. Yes, so the so-called Negroes had that yoke of iron, on them. All right, and this is verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil toward his brother. Chicago, for example. Newark, New Jersey, for example. Camden, for example. Detroit, Michigan, for example. New York. All right, everywhere you go in America, mainly in America, well, throughout the whole world, but mainly in America, your eyes should be evil toward. Yo, son, man, we about to get it. That's how they think. That's how our people think. They always want blood. They want to shed blood. All right? And we don't drop no guns in the ghettos. We don't put these guns and these weapons in the ghettos. So who does it? So who manufactures these guns and who drops these guns off in these ghettos? The so-called white man. That's a fact. When I say, let me correct myself, be more clear. When I say the so-called white man, I mean by Esau, Edom, the Edomites, which biblically they're known as Esau, Edom, the so-called Jacob and Esau.
Right, that's his older brother. He took his birthright, right?
Right. Well, no, he ain't. The birthright was already promised to us too, because it was already predestined. So the Lord was pretty much but what these devils did get was a blessing of the earth. Right, the birthright was really ours from the beginning, but what these devils did get was a blessing to have the fatness of the earth. If I'll grab that for you if you want. But I know it's so much you go into, then you want to jump into this, you want to jump into it. It is. It's so much to explain. Like, no, this is Genesis chapter 27. Now,
you got these shits memorized too.
Nah, it's not even that. It's just due to your ability. If the Lord sups with me as far as deals with me, then it's a blessing. We don't try to be arrogant. You got a lot of Israelites out here. I'm talking about a lot of Israelite camps. They'll come out here. They'll put on the most flashiest garments. They want women to pass by so they can try to like this ain't about that. It's about really serving the Heavenly Father in your house, really suffering, really knowing what you're involved in, because a lot of Israelites, they don't know what they're involved in. They don't know that this thing is just not, I'm just going to read a couple of scriptures, memorize a few scriptures, talk about a few scriptures, and go home and act like I never was speaking to you about the truth. Go home and do something totally contrary. And a lot of Israelite camps are doing that. All right? And a lot of Israelite
part of the GMS?
Yeah, GMS, Great Millstone. You already, you can tell, right? But you know what I'm saying? But a lot of Israelites, Israelites do that, all right? You got actually too, when we say Great Millstone, like our elders and apostles, was a spiritual name given to them, Apostle Elder Tahar, okay, but it was a spiritual name given to them. Now, it's not like it was just, or they named themselves Great Millstone, just be naming it Great Millstone. It doesn't really got to do with the title. It's the spirit that comes with it. Now I'm saying you can't categorize and box Yahweh Shai in or the Heavenly Father and His Son in. You can't. He's omnipotent. He's omnipresent. You can't box him into a specific category. You do. I would say this though. You got men in Great Millstone that I'm just being honest. Even our apostles say too that they're not right in their spirit. They think this stuff is just to come out here and just try to look good. We get our own people at first. We don't just like, oh, he's got Great Millstone on the title. So anybody can do that. He's got Great Millstone. So what? It's to really really do the Heavenly Father's will, and that's it. All right, not to say, oh, I'm gonna come out here for a few months and I'm gonna just be inside playing video games and just act like I'm not an Israelite no more. That's not how it works. There's a lot of men that actually fell off and they started teaching what they wanted to teach. And it is what it is, though, man. But this thing is deadly serious. It's not something that you play around with. You know, people be like, oh, Great Millstone, they're gonna bum ice. These bums. They always got all these bums with these dirty guns. We ain't trying to look good for nobody. Right. I don't care about whatever woman passes by. I'm not trying to look good for her.
Of course.
I ain't never had no children and no woman on this side that I really, you know what I mean? So what's the point of having them now? It don't make no sense. You know? It's done. In the middle of the street. But this is Genesis chapter 27 and verse 39. And Isaac, his father, answered and said unto him, speaking to Esau, okay? Behold, matter of fact, let me start at verse 38. And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father, which is Isaac, okay? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept, okay? She's acting like a little girl, all right? So, and this is what Isaac tells him. And Isaac, his father, answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. All right, what does fatness mean? In fact, we're going to look it up. Okay? Means a fertile spot or place fertile, like a fertile, like, okay? Richly prepared, all right? Fatness, or richly prepared food of fatness, meaning he will have the substance of the whole entire world. What race of people control the whole entire world?
Jewish people.
That's right, the fake Jews. Do you know that America has over 800 military bases all over the world? 800 military bases? And the scriptures talk about that, but like I said, it's too much to get into because if I jump around, I'll be losing my train of thought. But they have over 800 military bases around the whole world. What other country has a military base in America? Can't find it. Because it ain't, you can't find it. I mean, tell me. If I don't know, you tell me, but you can't find it. You know what I'm saying? Because the scriptures do say in Job 9:24 that the earth was be given into the hands of the wicked. This devil got everything. He's got every single thing in his possession.
So what's on the other side? Where's the turning point? You feel me?
Well, the Lord is going to deliver his elect men, which is 144,000. It ain't like the Jehovah's Witnesses teach that are women. No. The Lord deals with men, and that's a fact. That's even a household. A household. Can a child tell a father what to do? No.
So it really means households, like 144,000 households. Because
no. What I mean,
the men going to have their women and bring them with them.
No, that's part of that. No, you're right. I'm about to get to that. I'm about to get to that. Now what you call the 1/3. All right, the 1/3 will be part of the 144,000. The 144 is a governing body. All right, it starts off with the man, and it tells you that in Revelation 7. Right, but it's of each 12,000, but they're all men. But then again, you got the men, women, and children, or believers. All right, you got believers that also believe too that the Lord is gonna matter of fact, I'll grab it. So that believes, because you got men, women, and children that do believe. You can't just look at everybody like, oh, he's a demon because he's a demon because this. Nah, you can't look at it like that. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna have believers, what you call helpers, the helpers of the prophets. Because you got people out here that go on the comment boards, they go on the videos that say, oh, Shalom, brother, this and that. You never know who they could be part of that elect, but they're not a governing body. The 144 is separate from that, but they're part of the 1/3 of the elect.
At the fan, they're gonna be damn too.
Right, but they're part of that. Excuse me. Yeah, you got a lot of people out here teaching that the 144,000 are women, which that right there is contrary to the scriptures. All right, but you're gonna have faithful women. That's a fact. You will have faithful Israelite women. All right, that are part of that. Of the elect. Pardon me.
One of my brothers, he's a part of the the great millstone, he said it would be 144,000 men, women, and children.
Right, yeah, but that's right. You're absolutely right. That's what I'm telling you. They're part of the elect, but not a governing body. That's what I'm saying. I'll grab it over here. This is Zechariah chapter 13 and verse 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die. That's 2/3. All right, but the third shall be left therein. All right, that 1/3, right? And I will bring the third part through the fire, that 1/3, right, through the fire. Mainly starting with the 144,000. The Lord bringing us through that purifying, to purify us. Okay? And I will bring the third part through the fire. All right, meaning you're going to be tried and tested. And will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my God. All right? But yeah, so that third part is that 1/3. All right? Because you got the elect or the hope. That's why we say hopeful elect. We don't just be like, oh, we're saved on this side. That would be very arrogant to say, oh, I'm saved. Now, if you're saved, that means you can do whatever you want to do. No, you got it. The scripture say, those that endure to the end, the same shall be saved. All right, so that third is talking about that. You also got the men, women, and children, those that are not of the governing body, all right, but are part of the elect, like the brother said right here, so he knows. All right, so if you don't mind me asking, where your brother camp at? If you don't mind me asking.
He's in the Bronx. Yeah, he's live right now. I just said.
You're talking about
Barack Obama.
Oh yeah, tell him Shalom. Yeah. You know, all the brothers out there with the men of valor.
Right.
The men of valor. Yeah. I met the brother a few times. You know what I'm saying? This thing is ultimately about the elect. Okay, because the brother, I believe, from Ghana too, from Ghana or Nigeria.
Right.
That's what I'm telling. Because I look at you, I perceive that you are from.
Yeah, I'm from Nigeria, so
that I perceive. I already knew in the spirit. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? But that's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so you're gonna have brothers from everywhere around the whole earth, because the Lord said He scattered us throughout the 4 corners of the earth. So yeah, we're gonna be looking like other nations of people, but we go back to one of these tribes here. All right, you got brothers on the west. You got Israelites that don't believe that Israelites came from the west coast, and that's, you know what I mean? That's not true, because the majority of Israelites that are in America came off the west coast of Africa. That's a fact, off the west coast of Africa, mainly from Ghana, Nigeria. All right, Cameroon. All right. So, and I will bring, once again, verse 9, and I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined. So the Lord is testing us and bringing us to the fire. But the brother's right. But the 1/3 is part of the elect, but they're not the governing body. All right. So you got to govern something. The so-called white men don't know how to govern the earth. Hey, look, come on, man. They don't know how to govern nothing, man. Everything is upside down. All right. Matter of fact, let's bring it out, man. Let's go in the spirit more. Well, this is Proverbs. All right. Proverbs 29 and verse 2. This Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. The righteous are not in authority right now. Us Israelites, we are not in power right now. That's why we underneath this curse. We ain't rejoicing. We ain't rejoicing. As far as I know, I got to go back to work on Tuesday. You go, oh boy, here we go. You be like, oh boy. You know what I mean? You got to work. I work behind a garbage truck, and that's some stressful work. You know what I'm saying? You got to work behind a garbage truck, smelling some dirty ass garbage, and looking at some ugly ass Edomites on the streets. You know what I'm saying? You got to play stupid with them. You know, we got to be wise. But anyway, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. All right? And the wicked are bear rule. The earth was given into the hands of the wicked, like it says in Job, chapter 9 and verse 24. All right, this is Isaiah chapter 29 and verse 15. I start 15. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord. All right, his Hebrew name is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahweh Shai. Okay, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us and who knoweth us? Because you got a lot of these Edomites, they think that putting us in slavery was just something forgotten. They think, oh, let's forget about it. Let's bygone be bygones, and let's just forget about it. Let's just live life normality. whatever. But that's not how the Lord sees it. Because the Lord said he requires that which is past. Meaning whatever you did back in your past life, he's going to require it now. All right? And through their seeds. All right? Like it says in another scripture, Isaiah 14:29. Prepare slaughter for the iniquity of their fathers, of their forefathers, because they are their forefathers coming back in the reincarnation. They come back. Ain't nobody, where does everybody go? They got to come back and play. Come on, it's like karma. If you did something to somebody, don't you think it's going to come back around? Come on, that's common sense. It's so easy to understand it, you know? So whatever they did, putting us in captivity, giving us guns, all right, drugs in our communities and stuff like that. All right, so the Lord requires what they did, putting us in captivity. All right, and guess what? The so-called white man ain't the only one that did that too. All right, you had the Ishmaelites, the Arabs, which go back to Ishmael. The Arabs were selling Israelites off the east coast of Africa, Mozambique. All right, even in Yemen. All right, yes. The history is deep because the Israelites were already scattered, but the Arabs are the ones that built the slave ships. The so-called Jewish people are the ones that funded the slave trade, and the Africans, which are Hamites, to go back to one of Noah's sons, which are non-Israelites, they're the ones that sold us into slavery. All right, and of course you have sellouts of our own people too. All right,
but you saying so we've been in this state since the Hamites? You saying?
No. Hamites come from one of Noah's sons.
Yeah,
Noah had 3 sons: Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
Right.
The Israelites came out of Shem. All right. Yes, the so-called white man also came out of Shem too. The Arabs came out of Shem. All right, but Ham, just to prove the point of Ham, they came out of the Africans came out of Ham. Like you got the Philistines, the Libyans, the Sabians. All right, the Israelites. When Joshua went to go conquer Canaan or whatever, he was fighting against what? Hamites. Those are what you call an African nation. They're not Israelites. They have another spirit. All right. Matter of fact, brothers can type this in. You got GMS Missouri a while back. Manu Bowles' niece. You know Manu Bowl, the basketball player, used to play for the 76ers, about 7'7" or whatever it was. But his niece, he's dead now, but his niece came up to the brothers out there in Missouri. All right, I believe they're in St. Louis or Jefferson, Missouri, somewhere around there. But he came up to them and she opened her mouth and says that the Africans are not the Negroes living here in America. She said, those are not our people. And she actually agreed with the brothers bringing out precepts. All right, going into prophecies and compact Bibles. Do I even got it with me? I'll go into that too. But you asking me, Carl, now I got to jump from one thing to another. But the African nations are the ones that sold the Israelites into slavery. That word African came from a Roman general during the time of the Punic Wars against Hannibal Barca. Leo Scipio Africanus. That's all. That's where the name came from. Don't let nobody fool you and say, oh, that name came from, oh, it means something. No, it came from Leo Scipio Africanus. That's where the word Africa came from. All right? And then you had America was named after American Vespucci. But anyway, his niece said that the Africans or the Somalians or the Sudanese or Southern Africans, or because you got Israelites scattered, like I said, you got Israelites scattered through